Hi, welcome back to Blue Mountain Bushcraft and Outdoors. So, out here in my favorite woods to do a little knife review. Of course, this is late March, and Mother Nature has seen fit to give us one final pretty good snowstorm. So it's a beautiful day to be out, and figured I'd share the trip with you, show you a cool knife in the process. That sounds interesting. Stay tuned. Okay, so the plan today is to come out here and whip up a little lunch using the Nordsmith Pilgrim. For those of you that aren't familiar with Nordsmith, it's a fairly small company run by a gentleman by the name of David Anderson. David designs these knives, makes up prototypes, and then actually has the knives produced by LT Wright. So right off the bat, you know that if this design appeals to you, you're not taking a gamble on somebody you've never heard of before. These knives are being made by LT Wright. You know that they're going to be done correctly. And every Nordsmith knife that I've seen shows all of the quality that you come to expect from LT and his crew over there. So that being said, what do we have here today? This is the Nordsmith Pilgrim. This was the first knife that was produced by Nordsmith. This is a stainless blade. It's designed to be an all-around knife. The blade is made of AEB-L, which any of you that have some experience with this stainless steel know that it is exceptionally good, especially the heat treat that LT uses. Holds an edge very well. It's tough. It's really tough. It's not prone to chipping, and best of all, it's not hard to resharpen. It's a great steel choice, very corrosion resistant, which on a day like today is probably a good thing. Even though the sun's shining, there is snow falling off the trees all over the place. I've gotten dumped on a bunch of times already, but I digress. The blade on this is about 3.8 inches long with a 3.75 inch cutting length. The blade thickness is 5/32. You're kind of splitting the difference there between that 1/8 and 3/16. The handle slabs are canvas micarta. This particular model has these kind of toxic green liners, which I think are pretty cool. I'm not really a big fan of that color in and of itself, but with this implementation, I think it looks pretty neat. I like it. These are held in place by Corby bolts. You've got a brass lined lanyard tube here. and LT uses his high-grade epoxy to make sure everything is held together, and there's absolutely no way that any kind of moisture can seep between the blade and the handle themselves. They're chemically bonded together. So unless you're really intending to hammer these off, these things are not coming undone, and you're not going to get any corrosion underneath them. So that's a fantastic design feature. If you can see here, there is some very mild contouring going on. It's very understated. At first glance, they almost look flat. But as soon as you pick that knife up, you can feel that they're absolutely not flat. This thing has a fantastic feel in the hand. It's very comfortable. There's really not a whole lot that I would change with this. If anything, I might sand this down just a little bit to provide just a little bit of taper towards the blade. But that's just kind of a personal preference thing. It's not really a comfort thing. So the handles on this are fantastic. It's a saber ground blade, drop point design. It's got a really nice pointy tip. But even though it's nice and pointy, it's reinforced pretty well. It's pretty stout. I've done a little bit of light prying with it. Nothing major. I'm not going to tip test this thing. That'd be stupid. But overall, it's just a great design. It does everything very well. So these knives are delivered with a very high quality sheath. They're made out of leather, double stitched, triple riveted. Got a nice generous belt loop in the back, a permanently attached dangler, and a ferro rod loop. This particular loop is holding my Exotac fire rod. Overall, it's a great sheath. The retention is very nice. This has not really loosened up over time, making me concerned for the security of the blade. It's still holding this very nicely, and I've had this blade since I think early October. Had it out in the field a number of times. So retention on this is excellent, unless you have something very specific in mind or maybe prefer Kydex. I see absolutely no reason to change out this sheath. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna make some lunch out here today. Everything's just getting wetter and wetter. The day's warming up pretty significantly, and there's just snow melting and falling all over everything. So we'll see how the fire making goes today. We'll get it done. So I'm going to be making a soup. Got my 1.8 liter Moore's pot and my 4 Dogs stoves, bush cooker stove that I got for my birthday this year. see how this is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, is that good. You guys want a bite? Sorry. All right, guys. I'm gonna let my lunch cool down just a little bit more before I really dig in. I've had this knife since October, and I've used it fairly extensively since then. I've done everything with this, from kitchen tasks to coming out here to the woods, playing around, camping, you name it. I've done a little bit of everything with it. Is this a heavy-duty, hard-use knife? Well, this thing will stand up to more abuse than you'd probably expect a knife of this size would. That 5/32 spine, this AEB-L steel with the heat treat that they're using, and the edge that's on here, it's a pretty tough little knife. You can baton with it, you can carve with it, feather with it. It's just it's an excellent all-around knife. It's very useful, and that handle, that handle's excellent. Look at the geometry on that. That just melts right into your hand. It feels fantastic. And even on a day like today, when this thing's getting wet, drying off, getting wet, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have a really super smooth, highly polished finish to the micarta. So even though it gets wet, it still maintains a good amount of grip without being abrasive on your hands. So the fact that he's teamed up with LT Wright makes it just that much more better. LT is a trusted shop and makes really high quality products. And this thing, I know I showed it to you in the beginning. You might not have gotten a full appreciation for it during that footage, but as do all LT Wright knives, this one comes with a wickedly sharp spine. Ooh. Set the camera on fire. So scraping a ferro rod, no issues at all. If you're looking for a really excellent general purpose utility knife, it's going to serve equally well during everyday tasks as it does out here in the woods. And especially if you're looking for something stainless, this thing's awesome. I can't recommend it highly enough. Great steel, great grind, great construction, great design. What more do you want? Nordsmith Pilgrim. I'll put the links down below for Nordsmith. You can check out this one and the other designs that he has out. And well, that's that. All right, guys. I'm going and I'm eating. See you later.